That's definitely a deer across the street in the neighbor's yard. Okay. Okay, Kendama vlog number 2, and welcome to my car on my way to work this morning. Since I work full-time and I have 4 kids, this Kendama thing, for this Kendama vlog is going to be a little challenging to do. Number 1, it's really hard because it's embarrassing, but I think it's worth it if I can show some real progress and maybe help people out along the way. And I think it's cool that, you know, you don't have to be a kid in school who plays Kendama after school. You don't have to be some hipster in a big city who rides a fixie. You can just be a normal guy. I think Kendama is for everyone. I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, these vlogs are tough, but I'm gonna push through. So on my way to work, got my coffee. Kendama's right here. And what I wanted to talk today about in the car was beginner trick progression. As a beginner, as someone who's only been playing for a couple of weeks, I think about a lot. What trick should I learn next? What order should I try to do them in? Should I focus on one trick and do it over and over and over until it's really dialed in, or do I kind of jump around? I think about it a lot. Fortunately, a ton of good resources and tutorials for Kendama tricks. The first one I found was learnkendama.com. That one is a site that yoyotricks.com put on. It's a really good site, a lot of great tricks. And then learnkendama.com is one of the reasons I actually got into Kendama, because I was getting back into yo-yo. But that's a great site. They have a lot of tricks. And then of course there is Kendama USA's channel. They have some great tutorials, some great beginner tutorials. And then there is a site, I think it's kendamaco.uk or Kendama forum. There's a forum, it's UK based, and they have a list of tricks, like essential tricks, or 10 or 11 tricks that are essential for the beginner. Those are good. And then I believe Sweets Kendama has some tutorials as well. So I think those are all great resources. I'm recording this all on my phone, and I just ran out of space, so I pulled over because I was in mid-thought. So I'm going to continue now. This is the first time, by the way, that I've recorded myself while driving, so that's interesting. It's not illegal, is it? Right? Anyway, there are a lot of great resources out there for tricks, but they're all different. Not every resource lists the same beginner tricks as beginner tricks. There's I think what's key is, how do you go through the tricks, right? I think what happens is it's pretty easy with Kendama to get started and be excited. That's how I was. And then quickly hit a wall. Like almost immediately you hit, at least for me, maybe I'm alone in this, or maybe it's because I'm an old guy. You hit big cup, small cup, and then suddenly it's really hard. You can't hit spike. Spike is hard. Base cup is hard because your hand is like in this weird twisted position. So but at the same time, so your question is, do you struggle through the next trick, or do you keep working on big cup and small cup? Because big cup and small cup, you know, they take some practice when you're brand new, when you have no experience. You're not going to hit the cups every time. So there's a few ideas I had about trick progression, how you progress through the tricks, how do you make sure you don't get frustrated or stuck on a trick. Practice what you know. So each day, practice what you know, and stretch yourself just a little bit. So for instance, say you can do basic cup juggling, you've kind of got that mostly down. Keep doing that. Also, learn something, struggle through not lighthouse. I think lighthouse is hard. I don't know why that's considered a beginner trick. Maybe it's this, you know, lighthouse. This Tama is slick still. Now supposedly this is gonna break in. My Ozora will break in, and I won't have to, and I'll be able to do lighthouses better. But right now I can hit it, but it just slides right off. And the balancing, I don't know if that's just me, and there's a tackiness I know to other Kendamas that I don't have on that one. So I'll just kind of have to see. But airplane was something that for me, that the first trick this last couple weeks, that just seemed kind of impossible. Like, I can't do this. but I kind of each day I worked on it in addition to the other stuff I was working on. So there's a couple of tools that I think can aid in your trick progression. One of them is the Gloken. They have an iOS app for the Kendama World Cup, which is coming up this month. An app that shows all the tricks that are accepted at the World Cup competition, and you can mark on the app. You can list it as that it's impossible, you've never done it, that you've done it once, that you can do it rarely, that you can do it sometimes, that you can do it often, or you can do it always. So you kind of have a visual representation of where you are on a grid. It's pretty neat. Now, is it all the tricks there are for Kendama? Not even close. But they have some really good basis, and I think you can use it to, when you get stuck or you get tired or you get frustrated, go check out that app. It has little videos. They're not tutorials, but they kind of show the trick being done. So you can either, that might be enough to just start messing around, go to that app and say, okay, what have I done only once, or what have I done a few times that I can work on more, and what is something new that I can try today. Tonight I'm expecting a shipment from Kendama USA of some Kendamas. I bought several. I wanted to have a class set for kids to be able to just pick one up and play around. If I only have my Kendama, it's really hard to share and have someone else pick one up. Which brings me to the point of, I think one of the great things about Kendama is you don't have to be good to share with somebody else. You just don't. You can just show them big cup, small cup. You don't even have to hit the spike. You can say, hey, this is really hard. See if you can do it. I'm working on it. And it's super fun. And you can just play with the other person who's brand new. You know, you're new. And it's a ton of fun. So I want to have some Kendamas available for that. And I will probably maybe film some unboxing. I don't know. I don't get the whole unboxing thing. I'll try and see what happens. In-laws are in town. Maybe I'll do it in the backyard. Probably it's coming today, but I don't know if I'll add it onto this video, since I'm rambling and it's becoming way too long in the car. But anyway, okay, I'll see you later today. I'm almost at work. Bye. Okay, lunchtime. Let's go shoot a trick. Spike. Okay, so I'm on my lunch break and I'm gonna see if I can find a spot over here. There's some people in my normal little grove of trees where I film. Maybe you can see them behind me back there. Yeah, they're right in that little grove where I always practice. How dare they? Anyway, we'll see if I can find a spot along the trail here. This is the Olympic Discovery Trail. It's on the Olympic Peninsula. I think in total it spans like 126 miles, but there's a bench over here that maybe I can go use and set up my my phone here. I'm filming everything on my iPhone, so I have to be a little bit creative with how I set up different camera shots, not to mention that I don't have someone holding it for me. So we'll see if how this will work. But we'll do spike today, pole spike, see how it goes, and let you know my thoughts on it. All right, here we go. Okay, this spot is kind of close to the road, so hopefully there won't be too much noise from the highway. And let's do it. Pull spike is one of those tricks, and I'm calling it pull spike, P-U-L-L spike, because I'm pulling it straight up and then letting it land on the spike. You can do a swing spike, which we'll do that another day, but it's a lot harder. Pull spike is a very simple trick, but simple and easy are not necessarily the same thing. I thought it was going to be an easy trick to learn and master, and yet I still miss it a lot, which maybe I just suck. I don't know. I think the key, there's tons of tutorials out there. This isn't a tutorial, it's just my thoughts on it. You have to be aware the orientation of the tama, completely straight up and down, and the Ken completely straight up and down when you're a beginner. I have no doubt that when you become more advanced, if your Tama is slightly tilted or sideways, you can probably adjust. But for someone who's brand new, just pulling this straight up all the way and having it remain in the exact same orientation can be difficult. That's why they always say use your knees. Use your knees because it lessens the, if your hand's just coming straight up because your knees are coming straight up, the Tama will hopefully stay oriented with the ball down, or the hold down. But then, so for a long time I just struggled with getting this to stay straight. And then sometimes I get this to stay straight, but then this was not lined up. Either they're slightly tilted like this, or I just barely missed. So it takes practice, and everything has to be oriented correctly. And it sounds like the most basic thing you could think of, but that's how it works. I find the more impatient I get and the more I think, oh, this is an easy trick, let me just hit it real quick, that's when I always miss. But if I stop, take my time, make sure everything's lined up, then I usually hit it. I almost missed. There we go. So that's all I have to say about the pull spike. I'm gonna try to do 30 tricks in 30 days. So that means by the end of this month, this is July 1st, by the end of this month or toward the middle, it's gonna start to get hard because I'm gonna run out of tricks I can do. Right now, as a beginner, I can do some beginner tricks, but what I hope to prove is that in, a month and a half or less, you can learn 30 tricks. Which means some of them will be on the intermediate side. Okay, some bike riders are coming by, so I'm gonna stop now. Mountains are pretty, but hard to see behind the clouds. It is 5 o'clock on Friday, and I'm about to go home. There's a package waiting for me from Kendama, USA. Pretty excited to open it. See you later.